Raul Rosas Jr. will be facing Ricky Turcios on UFC Fight Night Moreno vs. Royval 2. Let's talk about it. Raul Rosas Jr. Great, great last outing. Got a KO victory over Terrence Mitchell. We didn't get to see a lot of the improvements that he made that he made from his last fight against Christian Rodriguez. But great last outing. Looked powerful, looked confident. So we know that his confidence wasn't hurt because he came out and he got a nice brutal finish. So confidence is there, which is a good sign. What else do we know about Raul Rosas Jr.? Well, we know he's strong, powerful, very explosive. He was manhandling Christian Rodriguez in their fight until he got tired, until he got gassed, until he got taken into deep waters, and then the experience and technique of Christian Rodriguez was able to show. But Rosas Jr. was definitely the better athlete. You could tell he was stronger, more explosive. Just lacked a little bit of the experience and technique. And once he got put into deep water, he became very one-dimensional. But I think he learned from that experience, and I think he worked on his striking. We didn't get to see a lot of the improvements, but he probably worked on his striking, with the fluidity, against with the fight against Christian Rodriguez. He was just throwing a lot of heavy strikes with no real setup, just kind of throwing the strikes to try to get in range so he could get the takedown. I'm very anxious to see what he does in this fight because Turcios, while he doesn't have the most illustrious career within the UFC, this guy is, he's better competition than Terrence Mitchell, I think. As far as matchup wise against Rosas Jr. He's got decent striking. He has a lot of variety. Turcios throws a lot of head kicks, a lot of body kicks, throws a lot of punches, slips decently well too. I will say he does lack a little fluidity, and his defense is a little suspect. Definitely seen him get caught a lot by fighters that I wouldn't say were necessarily the best strikers. They kind of just caught him with just pure pressure, and a lot of times it was Turcios kind of putting himself in bad positions to get hit. So I will say his defense does seem a little lacking, but the guy has a good chin. He eats shots really well. Doesn't have like a granite chin. And I want to go back to Rosas Jr. He has a really good chin, I think. I think he'll be able to take the shots of Turcios. But Turcios does offer a lot of variety, and that can be somewhat dangerous because Rosas Jr. isn't the most defensively sound guy either, and he's likely going to eat a few shots from Turcios. But I think he'll be able to take him. He's a young guy, strong guy, durable guy, and he has a good chin, so I think he'll be able to take him. As far as Turcios' grappling, I haven't seen too much footage on Turcios, to be 100% honest. And in the footage that I have seen, I haven't seen him grapple a lot. I will say that he doesn't have the strongest takedowns, at least it was apparent in the fights that I watched that he doesn't have the strongest takedowns. And a lot of times he kind of used them just kind of because there was nothing else available or the striking wasn't working, or because he was kind of getting beat up a little bit and he shot the takedown out of a desperation. I don't think he presents an issue for Rosas Jr. in the grappling, in the BJJ, in the wrestling. I think that all goes to Rosas Jr. Rosas Jr. definitely is going to have the advantage when it comes to the BJJ, not just as far as technique and skill goes, but I think that he'll also have it as far as strength and athleticism. I think he's a stronger guy. I think he's a more athletic guy when it comes to the grappling. But yeah, it should be a good fight. I think that the fight it'll probably start off with both guys kind of pressuring each other, trying to catch one another, trying to feel the other out and see if they can see where their range is at and see if they can start landing on their opponent. I don't think Rosas Jr. is necessarily going to go and try to shoot right in and grapple and expend all of his energy against Turcios like he did against Christian Rodriguez, because I don't think Turcios is quite the level of competition that Christian Rodriguez is, but he's still good enough. And he can definitely. I mean, the guy can fight a full 3-round fight. He's got good stamina, so I don't think Rosas Jr. is going to come out and necessarily try to blitz him like he did in his last fight against Mitchell. But I do think he is going to be the stronger aggressor. What I mean is they're both going to be looking to pressure one another and hit one another, but I think that Rosas Jr. is going to take the lead in that department. I think a lot of times he's going to be the one pressuring and kind of dictating where the fight goes because he is better on the ground. And I don't think Turcios necessarily has the power or the threat on the feet to really bother Rosas Jr. So I think Rosas Jr. is going to pressure Turcios, and Turcios is a guy who's also a strong starter, like Rosas Jr. or the Rosas Jr. has been lately. And he does kind of fade. Now, Turcios, he does stay in the fight, but he definitely comes out a lot stronger, and he does fade as the fight goes on. So I think that Rosas Jr. should be able to. Honestly, I could see him getting a finish on the feet against Turcios. Turcios has a good chin. He is a strong guy. He is durable, but I think that the grappling threat being there will kind of nullify Turcios from wanting to grapple with him or make things difficult on the feet. And Rosas Jr. I think he's a lot stronger, and I do think he is going to be pressuring a little harder. I think he is going to be pressuring a lot harder than Turcios a lot of the time, and I think that's going to wear on Turcios. I think Turcios is going to start making mistakes because he's going to get, I don't want to use the word scared, but he's going to get a little frustrated, maybe anxious, maybe he's going to worry a little bit that Rosas Jr. is, going to look for the kill or going to explode or going to try to catch him or going to try to take him down, and I think Turcios is going to make a mistake on the feet, trying to land something, leave himself open, which is something I've seen, and I think Rosas Jr. is going to capitalize on it. But it should be a good fight. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see Rosas Jr. Keep getting tested, but I don't want to see him get fed necessarily cans. And this guy didn't look like a can to me, at least from what I've seen. And when I looked at his record, which I don't exactly remember what his last 5 fights were, but doesn't look like a total can. So it should be a good fight. Should be a decent test because, throwing Rosas Jr. against Christian Rodriguez as a bit of a tough break. As everyone's seen, that was just a little bit too much. A little too much step up in the competition there, but I think this is a better way to ease him. And honestly, down the line, I wouldn't mind seeing that rematch between him and Christian Rodriguez. Maybe if he wins this fight, he can get the rematch against Rodriguez, and we'll see if he's improved enough to beat the guy that was, the guy that gave him his first schooling in the UFC. But anyway, that's just my opinion, guys. I think Rosas Jr. is going to finish Turcios on the feet, probably early second round. I think the fight will last the first round, but I think Turcios is going to get caught. He's going to get beat up a little bit, roughed up a little bit, and it's going to be apparent that Rosas Jr. is controlling the fight and taking the lead, and I think he gets to finish early in the second round. If you guys like the video, make sure to give it a like. Subscribe if you like the content, and I will see you later with another video. Peace.